Coffee is the second largest export in terms of value for Uganda, but Uganda isn't well known for specialty coffee or high value coffee at all. It's really it's a commodity crop. It's exported in large volumes but at low prices. So what this project is trying to do is to build a specialty and high value coffee industry. The area we're in is Mount Elgon. It's in eastern Uganda. It rises very quickly, and as you get higher and come up into the higher reaches where we're around 1800 meters right now, and it's all Arabica. This is where you get specialty coffee from, so the stuff that all the hipsters drink and the rest of us like to enjoy as well.
This place has a big potential because of the good climate that is in this area. The farmers have small land pieces, but the land is very productive.
Mount Elgon is an extinct volcano, so it has volcanic soil, which is perfect for growing high-quality Arabica coffee. The minerals in the soil and the other components of the soil, that produces a lot of complexity in the coffee, and it can give you this really intense, sparkling, blackcurrant kind of acidity and really, intense fruitiness in the coffee.
As you can see, we've got coffee on this tree here. Many of you may not know, but this is where your coffee comes from these little red cherries. Well, bad coffee comes from the green ones, actually, but that's what we're here to solve.
We're working with farmers who are currently producing low-grade commodity coffee and receiving whatever price they can. They're completely at the mercy of the market, of their local buyers, and for most of them, it's not enough for them to pull themselves out of the poverty that they're currently facing.
Because people here have grown coffee for a long time, they actually understand how coffee can be used to improve livelihoods. But the challenge they had has been the market for coffee.
The judgment that we had collectively was that the farmers seem to have a clue on what can be done, but what is failing them to invest their time and interest in ensuring that we get the coffee that we want was market.
In the Mount Elgon area, there are 30,000 households farming Arabica coffee. So there's a really high potential to have a major impact if we can access high value markets for the coffee here. Similar to the likes of Kenya and Ethiopia, who have really boomed in the last 10 or 15 years with coffee.
And so the potential for world-class, incredibly high-quality coffee, it's there. We just need to help the farmers unlock it to realize that potential.
This particular project is funded by the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research. So we started with improving the productivity. Now we are working on improving the quality of coffee, and then how can we process some of the coffee as specialty coffee to give these farmers a premium price that can improve their livelihoods and income.
We are looking at all the nodes through which coffee passes and all the actors that are touching it or using it or having business with it, from the garden to the factories until it reaches the table. So every other person is doing something which is either adding quality or killing the quality.
So today we're addressing one step of that chain. We're addressing picking quality. It's the first step every year in picking high quality coffee. As you can see, there's a lot of differences in ripeness on the tree. And in order to make picking easy, the picker will pick a green one, a somewhat red one, a red one, a green one. This really doesn't lead to high quality coffee. This is what we'd consider a commodity grade coffee. Okay.
Picking ripe red, in terms of the quality you receive in the cup, is one of the fastest ways to improve the sweetness in your coffee. More complex coffee in the cup that has terroir. One of the reasons that Monastery Coffee and other roasters like us pay a premium for higher quality coffee is because those coffees have unique characteristics. They have a sense of place, like really high quality wines do.
It's a lot more effort to pick only red. You got to go up here, you got to pull it down here, and you got to really be careful. Right? And you got to look at them. You got to make sure, well, that one's got something wrong. It's had a bug in it, so I've got to throw that one away. Okay, so it's a lot more effort to pick red, particularly when you've got this uneven ripening.
Okay. Now this is how this is what she's saying. She said in people's gardens, if she finds they are so ripe, she picks the ripe ones. But where she finds it's mixed like here, she just picks as long as it has some slight red. So when we come to specialty coffee, we have a lot to drop out.
There was no incentive for them to spend a lot of time to pick one by one. And even the growers who invite the pickers were not bothered. They were just going by the quantities of a day. Little did they know that they are wasting their coffee because they literally harvesting everything, all the colors. But when it goes to the market, it has to be sorted again. So what is sorted is lost. It's lost money. And what is remaining, the red, is little. So that's how through Adelaide University we have what I would call a planned comparison, but it's an experiment. It will experiment with the pickers to find out really what can stimulate them to actually spend time and pick the right red cherry that we want.
It's a research project. We are going to do some bit of study on how we pick our coffee.
So what we're doing is checking whether quality conditional contracts for labourers can generate improved picking, so picking only red, in addition to paying the pickers better. So these are some of the poorest people in the area. They're often landless poor. They will work in the order of $1 a day and often not have work many days. Our aims here are to provide more income per day based on picking red and more days working, because they can come back and pick these green ones in a few days' time and they'll be red. So while we're doing this, the pickers pick red, they get more money, they work more days a week, the growers make more profit because they access a high value market, and everyone wins.
And then when it gets to the washing station, now we have some more times where the quality could be, points where the quality could be degraded. So we're talking about fermentation practices, drying practices, getting it off the ground, making sure it's turned a lot. That financial incentive is again just continuing through. So every step in the supply chain where quality could be degraded, we're lifting it back up.
This project has developed what are called innovation platforms. So that's groups of households, businesses, community groups, government organisations, education institutions. They come together with the aim of trying to improve things.
This is our village office and we are proud of it. We think that we are going to start small and grow big. It was initiated by women and we wanted to see the difference between women activities and men activities. That is how we came up with Mount Elgon Women in Coffee Innovation Platform. A platform is where many groups come together who are in coffee value chain.
A member of the Chama Coffee Innovation Platform. The innovation platform comes together once in every month to discuss what are the challenges that are affecting the coffee farmers, how do we process the good quality coffee. We have Adelaide University, then we have Makerere. This team has been able to tell us that there is a market that you can earn more from these coffees that you have than the market that you may be supplying. They are carrying out a number of researches that identify what exactly the farmers have been doing in the field. Then look at ways of how do they improve. They are not bringing in new methods, but they are only bringing in ways of improving what the farmers have, give them the knowledge of why they need to do whatever they need to do, such that they come out with the best quality coffee.
We are going to employ people at the washing station, so people are going to get jobs. We don't want to be job seekers, but we want to be those who create jobs. An impact which we think will come is increased incomes in households, from the farms, from the processing centers, from the business people, and that will lift up the standards of living of Ugandans and especially women.
Take for example, currently the price of cherries is at around 1,200 shillings per kilo of cherry, and they are doing an experiment where we shall have it at an increased price of around 2,000 shillings per kilo of cherry. The difference of 800 shillings can be put into savings. You can use the other monies to take and let's say pay for school fees, and you're safe, you live a happy life.
Some of our cultural values affects women and girls. When you get married at a tender age, the standard of living at your household will be so poor because you will not have income, because you did not finish what? You did not finish your education. So we are advocating for that. Girls must go to school, parents must pay fees, and how will they do that? Through coffee.
The farmers say if this project moves the way it is, the project is going to take us far in marketing, because it is going to market our own coffee, and it is going to tell us, it is going to sell to those roasters and other people abroad that these are people who can produce the best quality coffee and they can supply us.
So this isn't about handing out money or just simply extension services. This is about groups of people coming together to try and jointly move to another level in terms of the value chain.
One discipline or a person from one field may not be adequate enough to handle that problem. There are so many complicated issues facing the communities, but attacking the problem from a wider perspective with different people coming with different ideas is something that is more user-friendly than looking at one entity.
So we want to use this really to show that this can be a model. You cannot reach every farmer, but once you bring them into these innovation platforms, yes, you can transform their lives through coffee.
And so far the initial testing's been really positive. It's been working, you know, aligning people's incentives, aligning the incentives of the buyers with the washing stations, with the growers and with the pickers, where everyone sees the benefit of producing higher quality coffee and receiving a fair financial compensation for that. But that doesn't work if we can't keep that incentive moving up through the supply chain, all the way up to the roaster in the end. And so we're buying from producers and then exporting the coffee and importing it, at this stage just to Australia, but we're hoping to find a worldwide market as well, where we can then find a home for it. Some roasters that can't wait to get their hands on the coffee.
Coffee is a great product. It has a great taste and it's loved by many people. And we have demonstrated through innovation platforms that it's possible to transform the small-scale coffee producers into commercial, viable businesses that can connect direct with the specialty coffee buyers.
The kind of added thing there that I'm really excited about, and this is one of the reasons I'm so excited to work with universities, is that we're getting data from that. You know, it's a research project. So we've got different treatments. We're seeing what's effective, what's not effective. And, you know, there'll be reports about that that are freely available for other people to learn from this experience, you know, so we can replicate the successes we might have, that we will be having, I'm confident, on the ground here. That can be replicated in other situations similar to this within Uganda, but also outside of it. I think this might be the wash.